7:03, and I'll rise for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great. So the first item is October's action items, and I don't have them in front of me. I can address some of them that I know that we took care of. One of the things that we needed to do was to send a report to Dr. Quimby about the Quimby donation, which we did take care of that. That was on our list of things. Yvette was going to give me a contact person for the strategic plan, which she did, which I have not reached out to that person yet, but I have the information. Janet, do you have the list in front of you? No? Okay. Were there other things that come to mind? They weren't in the minutes, so, that we just received, which I'm not sure if people, like, if you were at a meeting just now, you probably didn't even see the email with the minutes in it. Oh, you did? Okay. Really we should be getting the minutes much sooner than that, so I will talk to her about that, so.
I have the wreath auction.
Oh, the wreath auction, you had.
We did that.
Yep.
That got taken care of.
Thank you.
And then I moved $5,000 from fine savings to fines checking.
Okay.
Those are the two.
I think those were the big ones, and meeting about the budget, which we did, and we will get to, so.
What was it that you did about the wreath auction? Just to arrange wreaths? Or?
Yes.
Yes.
That the trustees donated 2 wreaths to the auction. Could you put your microphone on, please, Karen?
Sorry.
Thank you. Yep, just that we were going to donate 2 wreaths, so that was taken care of, so. If other things come up, I think there's a lot of stuff that we were going to be addressing throughout this, so we'll check. Okay, SMP, that's still just there. There's no action on that. Strategic plan, as I mentioned, Yvette sent me a contact person, so I do have her information, and I will reach out and report back to the board in December how much that would cost and what the process would look like. So I'll put that on my action items for this month. Building maintenance project list. Anything you'd like to bring to our attention, Yvette?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Was there something you had a question?
Well, I think that it's just the elevator, right?
Mhm.
Just the elevator is an issue. So
Mhm.
where are we in the quote RFP process? What is happening with that?
We have one quote,
Mhm.
and I'm going to forward that to finance
Okay.
and have them draft an RFP,
Okay.
and then we can review that.
Okay. Is it just, it's budget season? Is there any timeline for when that might take place? Okay.
I mean, I can send it tomorrow, but.
That would be great if you could
Yeah.
do that, because I think that we want to, like, especially when we get to your director's report and there's the item about the problem with the door, with the elevator, like the thought that we are like expending money and that this is
Mhm.
probably going to be an ongoing thing, and what about when it breaks and will not be able to be repaired. So, if you could send that to finance and we could start that process rolling, I think that would be good. So. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say, what about the granite steps? The front steps? Where's that?
Well, it's in my report, so Mike Danis is he's coordinating it with the granite company. He's the project manager for us. Joanne is the point person between us and Mike. He wanted to know which granite company had put the steps on, and if they decide they were gonna work with a different granite company, but the other granite company won't move someone else's work. So now we have to go back to the granite company that we use to get them to remove it. The vendor is going to arrange with the police to get detail to help with traffic around the corner. So it's still moving, it's just moving very slowly, and we keep telling them, we want this to happen before it snows. So we just keep saying that.
Mhm. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions on the building maintenance project project list for Yvette? Okay, we did have our trustee retreat and the goals. I'm just going to read through the goals that we have here. I don't think that you need to list them all in the minutes as they are in the minutes from the trustee retreat, but I will just review them. The goals we established were to successfully put forth a budget that covers staff salaries, to COLA, et cetera, along with our other concerns, to develop a strategy or plan for addressing the issue with salaries, in that we are so far behind some of the other local libraries and businesses in our especially part-time salaries, to work on a strategic plan, to get a facilitator from outside to drive the plan, to discuss and confirm a memorandum of understanding in place with trustees of the trust fund and the same with the town council, to move some of the treasurer duties to library staff, building projects, to work on our list of building projects, and develop some strategies to encourage new trustees and board participation. So that was what we had, just so people know. Okay. Is there anything else for old business? All right, moving on to new business. Our general ledger, invoice, manifest, et cetera. Any comments or questions for Yvette? Hearing none, we will move on to the real meat of the discussion, which is going to be our proposed budget for this upcoming fiscal year. So,
Can we do everything?
everything else and then come back? Okay, that sounds fine. All right, proposed holiday schedule. Our proposed holiday schedule Yvette sent to us. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I would pick one day for Veterans Day. Not both.
Okay, the note about Veterans Day, the last year we had these dates was 2017. That year, the library was only closed on Saturday, November 11th for Veterans Day. When we think about the coming year and the limited staff we're currently operating with, we're suggesting that we be closed for the observed holiday on the 10th and also on the actual day, the 11th, for those in the regular rotation. That's about 3 people. If we're only closed on the Saturday, any full-time service floor staff would have to find another weekday to be out, so that they could get their holiday. And that puts pressure on others in the department, and suddenly it's not like a holiday at all. It's also, the idea that being closed on the actual holiday, which is the Saturday, is the most respectful choice in terms of the meaning of the holiday. But we can do whatever you like.
Looks good to me.
So, yeah, go ahead.
What was the issue, Janet? I'm just not clear.
Well, I look at November, that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days that they would be taking off through November. Well, not 5, but it's.
I haven't looked at the full, what are the 5? I haven't looked at the full calendar.
It's Veterans Day observed, Veterans Day, and it's actually 4
Oh,
because it's
right.
Thanksgiving Eve, but you're closing.
Why
Well,
don't
we-
they get Christmas Eve?
Because it's Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
They're closed. They do get it. They're closed anyways. We're closed, so yeah. Is town hall closed on Friday?
I don't have their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. They
Mhm.
probably are, but they.
They're
would be-
not open on
I
Saturday.
know.
I was gonna say, but they're
I
not
know.
open
I'm
on
just saying, like,
Saturday.
I would not want us to close if they were not. I mean, I'm just trying to think through
I know the dump was closed.
next year.
Well, this year they were.
Well, right, but this year Veterans Day was on
Friday.
Friday, so it
Well-
made sense that everything was closed.
Yeah. We can be open Saturday
I
if
mean,
you
it's
want.
just my opinion. I mean.
Oh, I Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days for Veterans Day.
Oh, I wouldn't say you should be open on Saturday. I would say if it would be Friday that you would be open.
Pick a day. I was just saying pick a day,
I don't
just
know.
not both.
What you said made sense. So it's just one day.
Can we have them like a flexible, they can pick and choose which days they want to?
No, that doesn't work with the staff.
I think you have to be closed on Saturday. I don't think that that's like negotiable. I feel
I
like you,
agree.
like Veterans
The
Day, you have to be,
actual
the
Veterans
the
Day.
actual
Yeah,
Veterans
and
Day, you have to be
Veterans Day
closed.
Friday. open.
Friday, if anyone who's full-time has an 8-hour holiday that they need to take off. You know, one thing you could do is say, it's a floating holiday this
Yeah,
year,
floating holiday, yeah.
take 8 hours when you want to take 8 hours. And then we can be open on the Friday. I mean, I've worked in another library system where we had some floating holidays and it was really your birthday you could decide to take off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
there's other ways to do this if you wanna
Mhm.
come up with other, you know, I mean, you know.
Did you want to make a motion to change the holiday schedule to have be open Friday?
And then we just
And
have
then,
to,
then we would make a,
we
that.
kinda owe them a holiday.
Then, yes, then,
Yeah.
and that part of that would be that they get a floating
Floating
holiday.
holiday,
And some people might
yeah.
choose to take it on that
Well, I
day.
mean, Sure.
Yeah. Other
But it
people might be like,
Makes it easier on scheduling anyway.
Some
Sure.
people might
Mhm.
take it Monday.
some people might take it a week later when they can piggyback on something else. Like, you don't know what people's schedule is going to be like.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that, Friday, November 10th, the library is open. And then everything else stays as is on the holiday schedule for 2023.
And then do you need
Hmm.
to include that that would be a floating holiday for anybody who qualifies for that?
Okay.
And that would be a floating holiday
would be a
also
floating
for anyone who
holiday for
qualifies,
those.
for those that qualify for that.
I'll
So,
second.
okay. Any further discussion? Mike, did you have some concerns about that?
I don't know.
Well, if you do, please speak then. We want to hear them.
Well, I mean, I already said it. I agree with her argument. So,
So why do you think that they should
but
be open?
floating a holiday is pretty nice too. so.
Right, they can take it
They're
whenever they
both,
want to,
so.
yeah. And someone could take that day off if
Sure.
they wanted to, so.
It's just, I think the purpose was to make it easier for the scheduling, right?
Mm.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I think the floating holiday is another option that should make it easier. I mean, I guess we'll find out this year, won't we?
Yeah, and I guess my perspective on that is that a day that maybe some people are off might be the day that, with the library being closed on Saturday, that they would want to go to the library on a Friday. Or we might find that, no, but we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so we'll vote for the motion on the floor. All those in favor? Okay, 500. Are there any other concerns? Okay,
They don't get their birthdays off?
they can take it as a floating holiday. That's the floating holiday. You know, I think that it's that you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, there aren't a lot of days off. We have a lot of part-time people. That's one thing. But also, I mean, the library is open, right? That's our goal, is to be open and to be accessible to as many people as possible in many hours of the day. So we're trying to have those two things balanced. Okay, Adult Services Department restructuring proposal. Yvette did mention this to us, but provided us with a write-up on her plan. So, do you want to get that? If I can find mine, there it is. So Yvette, is there anything you'd like to speak to on this?
Just if you had questions.
Okay,
I didn't.
okay. I mean, it's kind of what we've been talking about combining the different departments. Okay.
I tried to make it all make sense in one document.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I appreciate what we need too, right? Sort of what you're looking forward to doing, so. And I admit, I do like the patron self-serve access to the whole shelf. It's just easy. You just go get your stuff. It's nice, so. Yeah, so. Okay. Do we need to vote on that?
You would need to vote,
On that and the
So-
job description too, I
yeah,
would
the
guess.
job description.
I make a motion to accept the full-time position of library assistant, patron services, e-resources, and emerging technology position.
Mhm.
I second.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, 500, so. Moving forward.
It's flexible, so.
Yeah, it also just makes a lot of sense. This has
Yeah.
kind of been floating out in the ether and
Yeah.
like different libraries are doing it and it sounds like it's a good direction for us to go to deal with some staffing things,
So
so.
it is called the patron services, yes, or?
Yeah,
Mhm.
patron services,
Yeah.
e-resources.
Okay, director's report.
All right. Since I sent this out, I received even more donations. So, there are several. We received a donation of R.W.W. Green's book Mercury Rising from the author. I can read all the book donations at once if you want.
Okay,
We have a donation of a children's picture book, Dragones y Tacos by Adam Rubin with illustrations by Daniel Salmieri from Brianna Estrada, who is a Merrimack resident. We have a donation of $100 towards the Caring Cupboard from Colleen A. Guzman. That's these. And then we have a donation of Chicken Frank Dinosaur, a picture book by S.K. Wenger, illustrated by Jojo Enslin, donated by Mary Kennedy, who's a resident. We have a donation of another picture book called The Bright Spot, a story about overcoming anxiety by Amy Chase, illustrated by Sakshi Mangal, donated by Jackie Dow, who is a Merrimack resident. And we have a donation of a board book, The Night Before Christmas, from Maureen and Scott Lake, who are residents. This is in memorial of Braden William. Doesn't say her last name, but this is a child who passed away. And there were some instructions that were included in this book that the family has been encouraging people to do kind things or to donate a book in his memory. So that's,
Can I
those are our
have
donations.
those three parts and write down the
we,
names?
we do need to accept each one individually though,
Yeah.
right?
no problem. Okay. So, Mercury Rising.
Okay, I will make a motion that we accept the donation of Mercury Rising.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, thank you very much.
And Dragones y Tacos.
Okay, I will make a motion that we accept the donation of Dragones y Tacos.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? 500.
Kind of sounds like dragons eat tacos.
It is, well, I think it is, and that's by
It
the
is.
same author. So, and illustrator.
$100 towards Caring Cupboards.
And I will make a motion that we accept the donation of $100 towards the Caring Cupboard from Colleen Guzman.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
I did.
Okay. 500, we accept that. Thank you very much.
The picture book Chicken Frank Dinosaur.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept Chicken Frank Dinosaur.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? 500.
Oh, I'm passing it to you.
Thank you.
Cute.
The Bright Spot, a story about overcoming anxiety.
I'll make a motion that we accept The Bright Spot.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, thank you.
And The Nightmare Before Christmas board
Which
book.
one did you second?
Bright
Over?
spot.
There you go.
Right.
I'll make a motion that
This
we
would be a
accept
fun thing.
donation of The Night Before Christmas board book.
So,
I'll second.
Okay, thanks. All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you to everyone for those beautiful and generous donations.
I think in the future, it would be better if one person seconds, so. you
So
go.
Sohini doesn't, well, you know what, you got your second in for the night, so we're good, so.
You have for, hold on, Mike. did.
I made a motion for each and every one, so don't worry,
Yeah,
that's.
so
like-
no, but the seconds are different.
Mhm.
And then this one is, is it the right spot?
It's mine,
Mhm.
excuse
Sure. Do you want to just hold on to those and then you can get
Yeah,
the information afterwards?
I'll use them here afterwards.
Okay.
I need to clean it up
Yeah,
for the Deb and Janet. I have so many Janets at work also, so I'm like, okay.
lots of Janets everywhere. Okay, all right, great. Thank
Okay.
you.
We have a funding request from the staff. They would like to request $615 from the passport funds for the purchase of adult graphic novels that are planned to be purchased before the end of the fiscal year.
What graphic novels?
Yeah.
I don't have a list of titles. It's what they would normally collect if I had not taken their money.
So is it like comics or
Oh, graphic novels? Well,
picture books?
no, they're like amazing. They're stories told with illustrations, and sometimes they do use comic panels, but like I've read some that are amazing, just really beautiful, wonderful stories.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it uses sequential art
Mhm.
form like comics, but usually the stories are much deeper,
Mhm.
longer and deeper.
All right.
There's a whole, they have a really good collection. I've read, I can't think of the name of it now. Read one that was just absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, there's, with The Watchmen is like a classic one. That was amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Mouse is an adult one. Have you read Mouse?
I haven't.
Have you read
Amazing.
Saw it on the
any
news.
of them?
Oh, Mouse, but that was around like in the early 90s. So yeah, it's been
Was it-
around for a while.
Aren't they trying to ban that?
Classic.
Yes.
It's
It's
an,
getting challenged a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's been around for a long time.
It
But
really
like,
has,
yeah, so
but it's, oh, wow.
it's amazing.
It is, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
All right, so now you have a section of the library to go check out. It's like really pretty amazing. Okay.
I can send you a list of recommended readings.
Okay, so I see
Um,
Janet looking at things.
I
Go.
am. There's an open PO for materials. So I'm just curious.
They rate me and I put it in my report. So
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yes, there's a materials
Let's
open PO.
check the open PO.
It's,
Which
on-
one are you?
It's on the first page.
Yep.
Fourth one down.
Amazon? No.
No.
Ingram?
Ingram.
21, 22. And there's still a balance there,
Okay, I'll ask.
so.
Well, so basically, we could make a motion, well, you don't need us to make a motion, because they could just take it from
They
that.
could just take it,
They-
exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah, they can go and,
I don't know why they didn't
Mhm.
explore that.
Mhm. yeah, so that would be a first option. to-
Sure. I mean,
But-
I'm not sure where they're purchasing from. If they're purchasing from Ingram, then fine. If they're purchasing from somewhere else, then we can't use the Ingram money for another vendor, but I don't know where they're buying their books from.
Well, then I would, it's still materials. Then I
Mm.
would suggest if they're also doing, if it's from Amazon,
Yep.
then I would look at the video game one that's from 1920. That's also library materials.
Okay, so for these two game consoles, because they were in high demand, Max had to request an invitation to purchase it. So we've purchased the Xbox X because I get the emails and then I forward it to him and Casey to purchase. And I got the PlayStation invitation this week, so I'm assuming they bought it if they hit the window of 72 hours. So that would hopefully be used up.
Well, there's still 2,500. If the PlayStation will only be like 500, right? I'm just thinking there's still 2,000 in there.
I can
more or
ask.
less.
What is the PO line to have it?
It's on the
Thanks.
open POs, Amazon.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think the answer is no. I think the answer is like, would this money meet your purposes? Like, could you use this up? Because we are trying to close out the old POs, so we
Yep.
don't have them hanging around. So, if they could possibly get it from Ingram or Amazon, that would probably be the first route to go. And if they say to you, oh no, we had this other vendor that we wanted to do,
Then I make a motion to take $615 out of Passport
if
Those
these
don't
vendors aren't the ones they were planning on
yeah.
using. I think that makes sense, and that way you don't have to come back to us with this,
Okay.
so.
Second.
Thank you. Okay,
Fine.
any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 500, so that's great. So yeah, if you can do
Sure.
that, if not, then go to Passport, so.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And then I had a question about print renewal,
Mhm.
because I still have it.
I know.
So when we were, yes, okay, so part of our report was what money, the Quimby funds, what they were going to go to pay for, and Janet suggested print. So,
So, yes and no.
okay, I'm sorry.
So, we paid for print last year, because this was
Mhm.
last year's money, the $720. Now, we still have like 731 remaining, and that's, so we could pay it to renew it
Mhm.
and try it for one more year and see where we go, or you can buy something else
Mhm.
with the money, and we still figure out if we want to keep print or not.
Okay.
So there are a bunch of different options.
Well, I think, no, I mean, I've gotten new information from the staff where if you want to decide to change print, keep it or stop using it, we need to make that decision in like June. And so we can't look at a year and think November, because the company makes the note in our record in June that we're gonna renew it. And I've never talked to this vendor. Someone else has been the person communicating with this vendor. So they told me that was the timeline, that was the, calendar. So I was trying to look through minutes to see if I had brought you that information over the summer. And I didn't remember, I'm sorry, I didn't remember it, so, we need to change the timeline. I would need to be bringing that to you, that question in June, or possibly May, to say, do you want to renew this service?
But our renewal is in November?
The bill is due in November.
Bill is due in
But you
November,
need
but-
to make the decision
In June.
6 months before.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, so the assumption that Prince is going with is, yes, we're renewing.
Yes.
And, got it, I'm there, tracking. Okay, so
So what do we need to do?
we need to pay the bill.
Okay.
But it's also paying it, it's an overseas bill, so it's, I think they've, a bank transfer? Did you do that last time, or did
No,
we cut a
it's-
check?
It was a
it
check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's a check, and then, it ends up being, because it's an overseas check, that's why there's an additional $20.
Mm.
Yeah, so, I'm pretty sure it's a check. So then the question is, do we pay it out of do we pay it out of Quimby? Do we pay it out of fines? Or, yeah, those would be my two options.
Can we use Quimby money to pay it?
Yes.
Yeah, because the parameters,
Mm.
it falls under that.
So are we keeping it?
We
We'll have to
You have
pay it.
to
We have to pay it. We
until
can't
April.
decide until June of next
Yeah.
year if we're gonna keep it or
So-
not.
I'd change my credit card number.
So we have to decide in April, May 2023, so we'll have to put that somewhere in our
Right.
to-do.
Mhm.
Okay, I get the note. So,
What would you recommend, Janet?
Actually, I think Quimby is a good option, using
Okay.
Quimby
Good.
money.
we need to spend that Quimby money every year, or what was
When
the-
we get it.
Okay. No, like, it had, the Quimby Trust is different, no?
Yeah, the Quimby Trust, we got money, so we're in fiscal year 22, 23. We got money in fiscal year 21, 22. We spent half of it in 21, 22. Now we can spend the other half in 22,
Okay.
23. And he outlined, he had like 4 different options.
Yeah.
And one of them was, like different services or new services for patrons.
Okay, so we can
So
put it
this,
under that.
this
This is a new-
fits,
yeah.
yeah. He actually has it rather broad, so
Okay.
there's a lot of things that we can
Mhm.
use his money for, so,
Yeah.
but.
Okay,
Okay.
so I will make a motion that we pay, authorize Yvette to pay the Prince bill out of the Quimby fund, Quimby
I'll second.
Trust.
Quimby Trust.
Quimby Trust.
Okay, so I'm cutting a check for you.
Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
Okay, any
Um,
further discussion?
no.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, and you will figure out what that looks like, the transaction behind the scenes to make that
Yeah.
happen? Yep,
Kevin seconded.
okay,
Okay.
great. And we will know that April or May, we need to be looking at.
Yeah, I put that as a note. Put it as a placeholder.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, you got other things?
Okay, so the elevator.
Yeah?
Columbus Day, we were open
Mhm.
and the door wasn't working. So we called for a service visit to get the elevator door opening, but the company was observing the holiday. So we were charged their holiday rate to have them come out and fix it. I think we're just kind of looking for some guidance about, should we have had that done? Should we have put up a sign and just said, well, no elevator today, or,
Didn't we
you know.
talk about this?
I don't know.
We
Did
talked
we?
about this
No.
at the,
Yeah.
it was mentioned before, I remember.
It was like how to, like, what happens if the elevator breaks, and I think we talked about it, but nothing happened, so we didn't revisit.
Well, what are people's thoughts on saying that the elevator is out of service?
What is it, double the cost?
I don't think I printed out that email from Joanne, but I think the piece was this much money and the labor was that much money. So the total bill was $2,340.
I just wait a day.
Can we call somebody from the town to come and take a look at it, like the engineering department, and say that right
No.
now cannot be used?
I don't know what company, I don't know what department
Yeah,
that is.
I think that's like a special, for one, I think this is a specialized thing. It's not
Mhm.
like it's sewer or something, like the elevator is very like our elevator. There, even someone who had a lot of experience in elevators might not be able to deal with ours. I don't know, I guess what are the things that come to mind for me are liability if there's an emergency, concerns about people not having access to the restrooms if there's
Mhm.
someone who's disabled who can't get downstairs, people coming in with their children, I don't know. I don't know if that there's a right or wrong answer, honestly, but one day is one thing, like, more than that, yeah.
Okay.
And one day, yes, next day,
Well, this was a holiday, and we were just lucky that it was, it
Wait,
just
can we
turned out that it
revisit
was a
our,
holiday
can we
that we
revisit
were.
our idea about closing on the 11th, November 10th next year?
We won't have the, we'll put the sign up on Veterans Day, the elevator. Okay.
I don't think anybody did anything wrong. I think that was, I mean, I don't even know, I mean, the board can talk about it, but I think these are the kinds of things that people have to make judgments on.
Well, it was
before.
me. I
Okay.
probably got
These are
the
the kinds of
text and
things that you
said,
have
of
to
course we
make.
have to fix the
Yeah,
elevator."
I mean, and I think, and I guess too, it's like, is it 4 o'clock on Columbus Day? Is it,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I think there are things that make a
Yeah.
difference,
Yeah,
and you're
sure.
like, hey, we're only gonna be open for 2 or 3 more hours. We're not calling someone in for a night, you know, or whatever. I think you just have to make that judgment
Mhm.
call. I don't know that there's any right or
Yeah.
wrong, yeah. Unless, does someone have a strong feeling that we wanna give Yvette, like, do this in that situation? 'Cause yeah.
I think it's
Do you want us to
circumstances.
to give you
No.
a,
Yeah.
okay, that's to
Well, I
figure
No,
appreciate-
because it's like we've had emergencies with the plumbing,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yes.
do it.
do it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's always, we need to stay open.
Yeah.
And I can't have a building open without an elevator or without toilets.
I just, yeah, I
Or
just.
heat, or whatever, you know, whatever
Yeah.
the thing is that's an
Right.
emergency, then it's always just do it.
I just think about somebody being there and not feeling well and not being, like, and they can't get
Mhm.
down the
Yeah,
stairs, like, that's a
yeah.
really
Mhm.
awful situation, right? And we are
Yeah.
here to serve the public, so sometimes that means that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't quite sure what to put in the budget for maintenance for an elevator, which you'll see when we get to that, but, that question came up because of this.
Well, I guess our thought is we're hoping we'll have a new elevator.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so,
I'm
Um,
holding this thought after a meeting on the elevator, off record. Okay. Off the record, it's something funny.
Okay.
okay. I've forwarded a couple of the phone quotes to you. I'm still getting quotes from Jonathan.
So what, can you give us a little background, because the
Yep.
first thing I heard about the phone was,
Yep.
it's a placeholder in our CIP, but it's like way down the road, and then all of a sudden we were getting quotes, so I'm
Yes.
like, I'm not sure what, like, precipitated this, so.
Our town manager decided to speak to the IT person and say, can you get some quotes for them? And I ran into him at the department meetings, and, he said, yeah, I have a bunch of quotes for you. I said, send them over. So, that was that. And so now I have a bunch of quotes, and, I think there was a little concern that we had a placeholder of $75,000 because we didn't have any quotes, so it was just a placeholder. And, you know, when we were presenting the CIP, if you remember, I was up at the table with Paul, and we were kind of talking about, oh, Town Hall just replaced their phones. And I said, oh, did you go with the usual vendor that we went with? He said, no. And then it was, oh, probably I need to talk to you about that. And so then he never did talk to me about that, but then he talked to Jonathan. So I have a quote for 20 new phones. He's talking to me about replacing the server that the phones are on. I have a quote for if the vendor does the work. He's also able to do the installation with Jared, Jonathan's team, and then with Jared. And this is really taking the server out, replugging, taking the phones out, replugging. It's not running wires different or anything like that. It's just changing the phones. And then I also asked him to get a quote for sidecars. So on the phones, we have an attachment with all of the extensions that we can use. So the staff still have questions that come up every now and then about, oh, do we have control over the auto attendant? Yes, we do. You know, they can do a lot of troubleshooting for us if we have a staff leave and they need to change that voicemail or that number or something like that. they can come over and do it, and, you know, we don't have to call the vendor in to do it. So I think it's, a nice collaboration to have with the town and the IT department. You know, it's certainly nice to have a responsive IT department, you know? But now we're getting more of a picture of what this cost is, and I don't have all of the quotes yet.
Okay.
So, right now I think we're at 8,000, maybe 9,000 with the latest thing I got today, but I'm still waiting on, I think, the sidecars. So,
Is
just
this,
keeping you
Mm.
informed.
is this the vendor they used?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
How many phones do we have now?
We have 19.
Where are they all?
Phones. I thought the same
I
thing.
can't
I saw
imagine
20
it.
and I was like, there are
Nope.
20 phones in that?
He threw in an extra just in case. And I have a sample phone if anyone wants to look at the phone. But, you know, there are 2 in my, I mean, I can walk you through the building if you want to know where the phones are. But nope, we counted. Jen counted, I counted. We did a double count.
Well, thank you to Paul McKelly and Jonathan from the IT department for working on this for us, so.
I do have a question. So one of the quotes basically is Jonathan
Mm-hmm.
doing the install, and then one of them looks like it's the company doing the install.
Yep.
Is there an advantage to doing one over the other, regardless of the cost being not the issue?
No, that would be your preference.
Okay.
I just said, give me options so that they know what it
Okay.
would cost if you wanted the vendor to come in and do it rather than them.
Got it, okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay.
So you'll give us, when you get the rest of the quote, you'll, okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the timeline on this? Like, if we're getting all these quotes and he's figuring everything out, is he figuring that, because I saw this is 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Is he figuring that once he gets a bunch of these quotes to you?
He knows that you need to vote on it, and he knows you meet once a month, so.
Do we need to vote on it?
Yes, it's an expenditure of money. We need to vote on it.
So,
I mean, can we just ignore it?
No,
No.
no.
As a trustee, you can't ignore anything.
no. Okay, so potentially within the next couple months, we're gonna get a couple more quotes? and-
No, I think really, you know, this is the company they're using, and so they have these phones here in the town hall and police and, you know, the
Mhm.
town buildings.
No, I think that it behooves us and it makes
I
sense
think it
that
makes
we are all
sense.
using the same people and I
Right.
totally get that, yeah.
Right. I think it's just our individual wants for, okay, the phone and the sidecars, and then these little questions that come up about, you know, he can come in and train us, we can have the vendor come in and train us. I mean,
Mhm.
it's those kind of things. And then, you know, in terms of training how to use the phone, it's how to use the auto attendant, because when you call the library, you know, staff have recorded their voice saying, "Hi, welcome to Merrimack Public Library, open your world,"
Open
and
your world.
whatever. You know, I mean, for number one, push, you know, for this department, push this, for circulation, push for all other, you know. So it's all those things that have to get recorded,
Mhm.
and it's just, who does it, and do we have control over that?
Mhm.
You know, when we're closed for Veterans Day, then we put in a holiday recording, and we have different holiday recordings for the different holidays. You know, if we're closed on a Saturday, then it's okay, and we're open Monday. I mean, there are all these little recordings, plus weather recordings that are already recorded that we just activate. So it's just little things like that,
Okay.
you know.
So, once you get your questions and your sidecar,
Yes.
so I'm thinking timeline, so essentially, maybe next month, we could get this
Sure.
back with all your little additions and things, and
Yes.
that's gonna be the end.
And I said, you know, if the trustees have questions, then I'll bring those back too. So I don't know if you've had time to think about any questions, aside from a timeline, but you can always shoot me an email.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Something that's coming up, I put in my director's report just to let you know. I attended a meeting today about, there's a library in, I can't think of the town, but, a New Hampshire librarian, heard of a grant that is being made available for, installing, electronic, charging stations for, electronic vehicles. And so she was wondering if it would be better if several libraries went in on this grant. So we had our first meeting today. Everyone still has a lot of questions about is this even feasible? I think I wanted to know more information about it because for us, everyone's saying, well, you lose a parking space or however many spaces, sure. Someone said, I thought I read something somewhere where you can run a charging station off of your, the light in your parking lot. And it's like, okay, then someone has to research that. I think it's also a different question about, are there any plans with the town to create parking spots at other town buildings for electronic cars or whatever? Is that electronic?
Electric.
Cars, is that right? Electric cars. See how I'm a gas guy. Electric cars, thank you. Is this a trend? Is this a, fad that's gonna come and go very quickly? They're trying to figure out, how do you set up a device where someone can, a patron come in and pay for the charge, while they're using the library, it's like a gas station where you pay for your gas, so they're saying, there's that option, or does the library decide to, foot the bill for this thing? There's so many questions just out there, and the grant is due like January 6th. So I think another question for the libraries is, what's the, feasibility of so many different libraries of different sizes and towns and needs and, is it even feasible for us to work together on a grant? And nobody knows yet. So it's a question that's out there, something to think about, I don't know what your feelings are on this or your thoughts are on this. Do you want me to keep pursuing it or just kind of say, not now?
I'm for it.
You're for it?
Is it grant-free money?
No, it's not. That's
Oh.
the other piece.
I'm not for it.
It's reimbursement.
Oh.
You're reimbursed 90%.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So it's, yes, but we're taught this is like $200,000.
Oh, never mind.
So-
I just feel like I admire the effort, but with the January 6th deadline and the holidays and a lot of questions still up in the air, I think it's a fool's errand, like right now. That's just my feeling. Not saying
Yeah.
I'm against the whole idea of it, just
Right.
the timing. And
Yeah.
I would want to see, like, what is the town center thinking about this for their
Right.
future? I just feel like there's so many questions that and I'm not saying no, never, just like right now, that feels like a lot to decide on and commit to before January 6th.
It felt like that to me.
Yeah.
But I think it's a
Yeah,
great idea.
Again, not saying, and maybe it ends up that was really, somebody takes the plunge and it was successful, and then we're like, look at that model, that was great, and I'm not against us being the first ones to do it. It's just a really close time to be making those decisions,
Yeah. Yeah.
Without any questions answered.
I'm uncertain about the commercial aspect of it. Just, I've only seen it a little bit, but they have these charging stations like at rest stops and so on major highways. I know in New York State they have them, and maybe here too, I just haven't noticed. But it's just like a gas station is a commercially run business. My question is an electric charging station going to be commercially run? And then would we want to do that? Would the library be the most appropriate place to do that? I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know, the Durham Public Library, when they built the new library, they put in charging parking spots. Yes.
Hmm.
But that library's been up for several years now, and she wasn't on the call, the director, so I don't know what's their experience been with having a parking station with a charging station, parking spot with a charging station. So I think it's, I don't know. It's nice to know it's out there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready.
No, and
I'm-
and not in a month and a half with like holidays and other things on the agenda. That just
Yeah.
feels like a lot to take in with all the other things
Yeah.
that
Thank
are
you.
going on. So, yeah. No, thanks for getting out
Okay.
there and seeing about it, but
Yeah.
okay.
So we received a receipt, which, yes, no, I don't know that I have it in my papers, from the UNH Foundation for our donation, which it was not a donation, it was a payment of $100 for the Master Gardener presentation. When the staff was organizing this, they said, oh, it's a suggested donation of $100, which means we'll come to speak at your library if you pay us $100. So I have it, I can file it, I don't know, I can put it in your box, but it was an
Okay.
invoice, so.
Yep.
I'm just, okay. Other things, Caring Cupboard celebrated its 1-year anniversary on October 22nd. In the first year, our Caring Cupboard location distributed 3,026 food items to the community.
Wow, that's amazing.
And, yeah. And I put in some feedback about the conference from the staff.
Yep.
I think that was everything I needed to highlight.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Yvette about her report at all? Okay, thank you, Yvette.
You're welcome.
Treasurer's report.
There it is. So our balance for the end of October for fines, we started with $3,861.48. And we ended with $9,231.72. The month of October had the move from the 5,000 that was moved
Yeah.
from savings
Savings
to.
to, yeah. So it's
Checking.
3,861.48 and 9,238.31.
31 and 72 cents.
72.
And then special. Where's special? Special started with 41,748.96 cents. So do you need that again?
No.
Okay.
So 41748.96.
Yep. And we ended with 43,572.79 cents.
79 cents. 4357279.
Okay, anything
Thank
else? Any questions for Janet? Okay, we'll go on to the acceptance of the minutes. Did people have a chance to look at the minutes?
I sent it so last moment if you all didn't find chance. I just sent the non-public. The the actual minutes is still the rough draft I could send. I have to update that really well and I'll send it. So
So,
next month y'all can just go over it.
yeah, if there's any way that you could get them to us, like within the week of the meeting, like we have our
Yes,
meeting and then
yeah.
get them to us, I think that would be
I know
helpful.
this time
and I think it's the-
Thanksgiving
what we-
weekend hopefully because I won't be there after that.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah, we are supposed to get them, what is it,
5 days.
5 days after a meeting,
Alright.
so.
This is the first time I'm hearing 5 people.
Sorry. So, you know,
But
just,
anyways, no,
Mm.
it's fine. Only that part I could send for town board and
Okay.
and I could. But yeah, I have the rough meetings. I
okay.
just need
So
to
why don't,
clean it up.
that's okay. So, do we want to approve the ones that we have in front of us and then we'll,
Yeah,
or do
I
people want a
have-
little time to look them over? I'll just start. So we'll go with the trustee retreat minute meetings, which were from October 25th, 2022. Any concerns, questions, changes, updates? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion that we accept the minutes of the trustee retreat from October 25th.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Okay, let's see, what do I have in front of me? These were out of order, my apologies. October 18th, 2022, non-public meeting minutes. Any questions, concerns, changes? Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the non-public meeting minutes from October 18th, 2022.
Second.
I knew Mike was going to be on that to make it easy for you, Sohini. So,
Mhm.
okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor? 500. Thank you so much. November 7th, 2022. This was our meeting regarding the proposed budget. Okay. Any questions, comments? Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the November 7th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? And then we also have the September 19th, 2022 non-public meeting minutes. I'll make a motion that we accept the September 19th, 2022 non-public meeting minutes.
Second.
Thank
I
you.
don't even remember that.
Thank you for not disappointing us. Okay. All those in favor? Okay, 500. Thank you. Thank you, Sohini.
So those I'll just say approved and send
Yeah.
it to her.
Yes, perfect. Okay, Building Exploratory Committee, nothing for that. The Friends met, it feels like it was a really long time ago that the Friends met. They're not meeting in November, though, if I remember correctly. They are meeting, when did they decide not to?
I have that they're meeting on the 28th, but
All right, that's fine.
that would be great if they, I will confirm, because
I d-
you have that they're not?
I thought I had written down that they were not meeting.
Okay.
Let me refer to my, see if I can find these down.
Where do they meet?
They meet in my office or the Lowell room. They've been meeting in the Lowell room. It's a big group.
Well, I know they're not doing it on the 28th,
Okay.
because I am in there. So,
Yeah, I don't know why I thought maybe they were going to skip this one, but I could be wrong. We talked about the wreath auction.
Yeah.
And at the
Mm.
last one, and we talked about that you could bid on things in
Yeah.
in person. They talked
Mm.
about how the book sale had gone, that sort of thing. Just a review of how things were going and how, yeah, that was it. There was really nothing new. It was kind of the things we talked about. And then we had, and yeah, if you would let me know if you hear from them. I don't know why I thought they were not meeting in November, but I could be wrong. The Development Fund Committee met also, and they talked about some promotion of the Development Fund, and there was some write-up done that was going to go on to the local television and some other changes for the library website. So, yeah, it was a good discussion. I think that was really the bulk of the discussion was about that, what they wanted to
Yes.
say about the committee. So, Town Center Committee.
Day after tomorrow.
Okay. Personnel Committee, I don't believe we have anything. The Finance Committee, which is Janet and I, we did write a report for the Quimby Trust documenting what has been happening since its inception. And I signed that, and Janet signed it, and Yvette sent it off to Dr. Quimby. So that's that. Okay, November's action items. Let's do that. I'll read the upcoming events, and then we'll dig into the budget, since that's going to be the bulk of our conversation. So I'm going to reach out to the consultant regarding the strategic plan. Yvette is going to send the elevator RFP to finance. Yvette is going to get us the full quote on the telephones. Was there anything else that we were going to do?
What was the first thing you said?
That I'm going to reach out to the strategic planning consultant, the new one, and see what they would recommend we do and get some idea of funding.
So is it a new person?
Yeah, Yvette gave me another person that I'm going to reach out to and get some information from. So, okay. Is there anything else? It's going to be a quiet month, so.
I have some last minute questions,
Okay.
whenever you're ready.
About,
Another thing for Yvette was?
okay, before we go to the budget.
Was it?
Okay.
Elevator.
Elevator.
quotes.
Yeah.
Another one, there was two for.
And firm up the telephone quotes, get the rest of those.
Mhm. And you know, I'll hold off on the upcoming events. So we'll talk about your questions for us. We'll do the budget and then we'll review the upcoming events. So go ahead, Yvette.
Okay, these two came. I'm just gonna give them to you and you tell me if you want me to file them.
Well,
I don't know. They came separately, if that's
Yeah.
confusing, okay.
that's, we can just file that up.
Okay.
Um, This you need to keep,
File it.
file it, and I will come see you for that number.
Okay. So we have an email from the carpet vendor,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to know if we would mind if they featured our carpet in their new website.
It's
Do you
fine.
mind?
I mean, no, I don't think that's fine. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, like, it's a public building and like, yeah, go ahead. go
Well,
for
it was,
Yeah.
Joanne was emailing with the vendor saying, please take your carpet books back, and she's like, oh, can we come and take pictures? And
Sure.
like, I don't know,
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay with me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Last thing, you had said, Janet, in October, that you wanted to do some kind of gift cards or
Yes.
lunch for the
We're going to
staff.
talk about that, I think.
No, this was something different.
Oh,
but
okay.
We could combine it or whatnot.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
good. That's a question. That's it.
Did you want to talk about that now? Or is that?
Is that
Um,
a holiday? gift?
No.
Okay.
So I had at our October meeting, I think it was the October meeting, I had made a comment to Yvette, yeah, it was the October meeting, to do something for the staff for all the work that they did during working with the carpeting and cleaning and
Oh, okay.
that. So
Okay.
that was, so maybe we can combine it or do some, or two different things, whichever.
I think if you want to acknowledge what they did, then it has to be two different things.
Okay.
It can't be just like slightly bigger holiday. Like it should be like.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I think we should acknowledge somehow the work that they did with respect to cleaning and wrapping and moving, all the stuff that needed to be done for the carpet.
Okay. So what would you like to do?
What I wrote was have lunch brought in or gift card to all staff for carpet work. So I'm game for any other suggestions. I just personally think they need to be acknowledged somehow.
How about packed lunch? Like catered lunch, individually wrapped.
The problem with trying to do something like that is that there's so many people who aren't there on different days.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
problem with any kind of event like that. So
Could try to set a date when the
Yeah.
library's closed or whatever. Have a team lunch.
If you weren't working that day, would you go into work?
Well, I went in on my off days in the Navy.
That's not the same thing.
Yeah,
'Cause in the
especially-
Navy, you're always working.
Well, technically, we got weekends off while we were on shore.
So,
I like it.
can people just be let's think about that. I really would like us to get to the budget, and we are gonna talk
Mhm.
about other staff things, so why
Mhm.
don't we do the budget, and then we'll talk about staff acknowledgement and holidays and that sort of thing, and, okay. All right, so, budget.
Which was paid out of the business card.
Okay, okay.
All right, so, the budget. Where are we at?
Mm,
Well, I sent it to you guys, so.
But then I sent it back to you with all
Yep.
those things.
Mhm.
Okay,
I made the changes.
I did not get a,
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
I made them and came here.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay, good change. Yes, correction.
okay, but I don't think that,
So-
I think that only the three of us have that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Didn't think of that. Okay. So I
Can-
changed, what?
I was wondering if, like, Janet can forward the changes to, so that everybody here has it?
I don't have access to my, yeah.
But Janet is it the same thing that she
Mhm.
did? Okay. Because if we're not looking at the same budget, then that way, there's nothing for us to do.
Yeah, I just
but-
assumed
No,
everyone knew it, so,
no,
Okay.
no,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. When is this due?
I mean, there's internet in here.
The 23rd,
Okay.
4:30.
So next week?
Yep.
So, okay.
Hold on.
So
But that's like
is those the
like a first draft, because I remember we've been able to submit later if there was ever any issues. Like I remember Paul even telling us when we were trying to figure out an AirFA's position, it was like,
Mm.
well, it really doesn't have to be combined or until like January. So,
I don't know what they do with it when we send it. I mean, we always send it on time,
right,
and I don't know
Okay.
what they do.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's tweaking afterwards. I mean, there's back and forth
Right.
between the library and finance, so.
That's good.
Yeah, this is, my copy too that I printed out doesn't have everything on it, so I guess I just thought we would have new, fresh copies. So we don't have the budget in front of us to like, is there? Yeah.
like I have those like 8%.
Yeah, but there's
Yes,
other
and
stuff
there's
too
other,
that we
yeah.
need to look at, so.
Just the salary raises changes.
So what is a good, way that we can figure this out? Because I think we need to have, everybody has to have a print budget in front of them.
Okay.
Like, I think that would be the easiest thing if we all were working off the same document,
We
right?
can go to
Should-
the library.
Should we,
I
ad-
mean, I
adjourn?
can print off.
Because I really think that we need to have that, like, in
Sure.
front of us so that we can all dig in and get through this, because we will not have an opportunity to meet
Okay.
between now and then.
So there's a digital copy of it.
Yeah, but I think that,
Can we go now?
Does he have
Yeah.
a printer?
I think that it's probably the most time effective and like productive thing for Yvette has her materials right in front of her, and she can print them out for us, and then we can all look at that together, and that we have it right there. I think is anybody opposed to doing that?
So we're gonna just go to the library?
We're going to adjourn this meeting, and then we will reconvene at the public library
Oh, that's
to
fine.
finish it. So
Mm?
I think that's probably the most effective
Snowing
Sure.
out
thing
though.
to do. Is it?
We're
Awesome.
gonna get like 3 inches tonight before it starts raining.
Okay, you just made my night. All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn this meeting at 8:15.
I'll second.
Okay, thanks. All in favor? Okay, and we will reconvene at the library. Sorry for the confusion, everyone.
Closes in 15 minutes.
Yeah, well.
but I am here.
Oh, I have to.
Right, so what happened was there was a budget
Mm.
sent out, and there were some things that Janet caught, and then Janet sent it back to that